Hi everyone, welcome to the Alchemy Scope. So this has been wanting to come forward for quite a while, but here we are at the very end of 2014 and it couldn't wait any longer. It was really calling to come forward. So there was one intention when this came to me months ago, there was one intention of bringing forward this particular new moon alchemy scope for the signs, which is to provide you tools and information that will help support your journey of your soul's maturation and evolution process that's underway, because it is underway rapidly, and we're needing as much support as we can get. So this is intended to support your journey wholly. So there are 6 components to every new moon alchemy scope that's going to be coming out. One is the symbology. We're going to look on the macrocosmic scale, on a general scale for the collective, what symbology is imbued at the degree point for the new moon that's informing this next 30-day cycle. Then on the microcosmic scale, I'm going to throw the I Ching for you, and we're going to look at your particular theme that's going to be playing out and what's going to be being called forward within you to grow and mature. And then I'm going to do a spread. I'm either going to use the Bral Talej deck, or I'm going to use a deck of 144 card deck that I created I call the Siri deck. So I'm going to either use the Bral Talej or the Siri deck to pull some information about an event or situation that might emerge for you this month that your soul has called forward for you to grow and mature through. And then we're going to look at the archetypes. I'm going to pull from the Carolyn Miss Archetype deck, and we're going to find out which archetypal qualities are wanting to come through you, evolve through you this month, mature, essentially. And then we're going to pull an Ascended Masters card for support from Doreen Virtue's deck. And finally, I'm going to provide you a Dakini from Penny Slinger's 64 Dakini Oracle, and they're quite powerful, and there's a lot of information. So I'm going to provide a link at the end of the video where you can go and access the information, because it's something you want to sit and read with. You want to read through and then you want to work with, because there are affirmations and rituals and stuff that Penny recommends. And I find them quite powerful. This is goddess energy, this is archetypal energy, this is themed energy. So the Dakini will provide you a theme to dive into in the coming 30 days that will serve your growth. Okay? So let's get started on the individual signs. So let's talk about the macrocosmic cycle that's unfolding with this new moon. The Sabian symbol that's imbued at 0 degrees Sagittarius, which is the new moon point happening on November 22nd and informing our next 30-day cycle, is retired Army veterans gather to reawaken old memories. Now, this is an important period of time that we're walking through right now. This particular new moon is the second of 3 consecutive new moons happening at the 0 degree point. October 23rd had it at 0 degrees Scorpio. Next month we have it at 0 degrees Capricorn on December 22nd. So we're in the middle of a portal time frame right now that is quite powerful. 0 is the alpha and the omega. 0 is beginnings and endings. 0 is potentiality. It is your pure empowerment. So this is a big, big time. It's no number, yet it is the container for all. It is the Fool in the tarot. This is pure potentiality. This is activation of your truest, highest self. This is about activating and actualizing your soul print, everyone. So this new moon is fascinating because it is happening in Sagittarius. Sagittarius represents higher mind, optimism, journeying forward, freedom, expansion, adventure. And the fact that the symbol that's imbued with this new moon is about, coming together post-war, and a lot of us have been through a lot of difficulties over the course of the last year or many years recently as systems start collapsing and we're really being called to become our full and whole selves. We're being called to really look back and see what has worked, what hasn't worked, what has served us, what do we want to rebuild anew, what do we need to let go of. So at this new moon, it's the duality of both and, where we're looking forward, yet we're having to look back. So that's pretty powerful stuff. And for me, that's about extracting what it is that worked, letting go what didn't, and moving forward into the new self, the new whole self. So this is really a beautiful time. So let's go into each sign and look at what event or situation might be influencing you this month. Hi Taurus, so let's look at the I Ching that came up for you for this next cycle. First of all, two things. One is, because throwing the I Ching coins and calculating takes a bit of time, I did that off camera in a ritual for all of the signs. It might be a possibility that I do it on camera for future recordings, but for this month I did it off camera separately. And the other is, I'm using the Visionary I Ching, which was developed by Paul O'Brien. Well, he didn't develop it. He's still using the I Ching, but the language for the Visionary I Ching is more resonant with modern day. You received 63 after completion, and the two trigrams that make up the hexagram for 63 after completion are comprised of water above and fire below. Okay, so it's the qualities of these two together that bring forward a form that have qualities imbued and that bring forward this information. So let me read what it says for you. It is a fine irony that after completion of a project or great enterprise, there is still much left to do. Completion is merely a pause in the cycle of creation and decay, a momentary still point for the swinging pendulum of life. Though completion does imply a period of restful pause, one that usually has been well earned, it is not an actual ending, but a uniquely harmonious flat spot in the constancy of change and movement. The image of after completion is that of a kettle of boiling water over a fire. When the forces are balanced, the water boils properly, but if the pot is too full and boils over, it puts out the fire. On the other hand, if the fire is too hot for too long, it can evaporate all the water. In maintaining the equilibrium that follows the completion of an arduous task, forces at work in the situation must be monitored carefully to ensure that a proper balance is maintained. After completion is also a time for fine-tuning, for refinements, and for embellishments of what has already been accomplished. Even if we enjoy a rewarding situation at the moment, the laws of the natural world dictate that influence and success must eventually decline. Don't let current good fortune prompt careless or relaxed attitudes. Whatever is successful or already established needs to be carefully maintained without trying to expand it now. What is incomplete, on the other hand, should be brought to fruition without delay. Take satisfaction upon completion, enjoy a sense of fulfillment, but do not dwell on endings. So that looks to be your cycle for December. Hello Taurus. So I went ahead and shuffled my deck. I'm using the Siri deck. This is a deck of cards I created. It's a 144 card deck. Went ahead and shuffled it. Let's go ahead and pull the spread. This is called a synchronic spread. It was developed by a woman by the name of Shama Viola in Damenier, in the community Damenier in northern Italy, for a card deck which I also use called the Bral Talej. And this particular synchronic spread is simple but very good. Let's see what we have. I'm going to wait till it's all out and then I'll give you something. Okay. All right. So the different positions here, we have essentially from a spiritual angle, from the material physical angle, from the emotional angle, from the mental angle, and essentially the core message. So what we're asking Spirit is, what event or situation might be emerging for you in the month of December that your soul has called forward for you to grow through. And essentially, there's going to be, it's life is asking you to stay hopeful for new creative opportunities. Now, indeed, it looks like a new creative opportunity might be emerging for you. So, and this is also the creativity card that I created also represents dynamic. So a dynamic between you and an event, a situation, a person. But this is you, a new hope for a creative dynamic, either a project or an event or a situation. Something is going to be emerging, and you're being asked to hold that space as well. Now, it is saying that there's something. Now, these are my images that I've used for the cards, so these are not going to resonate with everybody. This is my personal deck, actually, that I'm sharing with you. So there's going to be some thoughts coming up for you that aren't aligned. You're going to be thinking something is not right. There's going to be some pessimism coming up for you, and you're going to think that there's maybe some deception going on. Okay, so it does appear that there is going to be something new that's going to come forward, but there's going to be some perpetual negative thinking that's going to be coming forward as well. It's going to be powerful. There's a powerful energy and this is a powerful time for you to move into a new way of thinking, a new way of perceiving the world. From Spirit, you're being asked to clearly see that glory is ahead, victory is ahead. Things are moving forward for you. So this is quite something. I mean, to me, this, and to be strong emotionally too. So on the emotional side, you're being asked to stay strong, stay grounded, stay confident. So be hopeful that any new things that come forward are for your greatest good. See them as positive. Stay confident and strong. Try to watch the negative thinking. You might be thinking, the default might be that you're going to see deception and that something is not right with the situation. So that looks to be coming forward for you in December. Hi, Taurus. So let's look at the Carolyn Miss deck and see which archetype is wanting to come through you this month. What archetype is wanting to evolve within you this month? And this doesn't just pull the archetype and the quality set, it also pulls the frequency. So we get to see the higher frequency manifestation of the archetype and the lower frequency, so the polarity points. So let's see for you in the month of December, what archetype is wanting to, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so you got vampire. Let me read it to you. So the higher frequency vibrations of vampire makes you aware that something or someone is draining your life force. So it's about waking up. It's about becoming aware of what is no longer serving you. So it's about waking up. The shadow attributes of vampire are depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. So vampire is about tuning in to your own energy system, not sucking energy from others, learning what is sucking your energy and eliminating it, and honing what is giving you energy, and creating more of that, nurturing yourself, in other words. Interesting. Vampire. Okay, so let's look at the Ascended Masters cards. These are Doreen Virtue. Many of you are aware of her many decks, and a lot of people use these cards. I like these. I like the Ascended Masters deck. It's one of my favorites. So let's look at which Ascended Master is wanting to come forward to provide information for you about how to deal or cope with this particular 30-day cycle. Oh, this is fantastic because this goes so beautifully with Vampire in my view. So it's retreat into nature. Yeah, retreat into nature. It's Green Man. So this is about connecting to nature. This is about aligning. Actually, I'll keep it up for a second. This is about aligning your energies with natural systems. This is about connecting with nature. This is about you cleaning, detoxing, cleansing your system with nature's frequency, which is quite delicious to go along with Vampire, because Vampire is kind of a misuse of energy. It's a lack of alignment. It's either sucking others or people sucking yours. And so you're going to want to connect with nature. That is a beautiful remedy. So let's go on to see your other goodies now. So the last component to your alchemy scope this month, Taurus, is your Dakini. This Dakini will support your evolution this month. It's a story within you that wants to come out and to dive into. You received a fantastic Dakini. Again, this is using Penny Slinger's 64 Dakini Oracle. You received number 2, Sophia. This is fantastic. So I'm going to read a little of what Penny writes, and then I'll provide a link below so you can access the rest of the information. Her realm is where the etheric imprint of consciousness penetrates the atmosphere, bringing the tree of life to earth. Sophia comes from the Greek and is the female aspect of God in the Judeo-Christian tradition. She represents the emanation of the Ein Sof, the portal to infinite light. She is the embodiment of the wisdom principle. She is the breath of God, the Word, bringing direct knowledge and self-realization. She represents the Western esoteric transmission. According to the Gnostic interpretation, Sophia dwells on the heights above the created universe, in the place of the midst between the upper and the lower world. Sophia is therefore the mediatrix between upper and lower realms. She shapes this mundane universe after the heavenly prototypes and forms the 7-star circles. She is the mother of the living, the original soul from which each soul emanates. So that gives you a flavor. You can read the rest below. And this is really fantastic. You have a very interesting month ahead of you. Some dynamic aspects that seemingly are opposed, but it looks like you'll have some tests this month, but always only for the positive. So I wish you a fantastic December, and I'll talk to you next month. And a final note, the products that I offer, the archetypal profile, the symbolic profile, holistic sessions, that all help people get clear on the archetypes, the symbols, and the general evolutionary trajectory their soul is encoded with. All of those services are available via gift certificate. So if you have family members or friends who you would love to give the gift of clarity this year to, I have wonderful, easy gift certificates that can provide some not only fun, but wonderful and kind of deep and meaningful gifts. So I invite you to go to the website and take a look. Links are below, and contact me with if should you have any questions whatsoever, if you need clarity on what any of these items are. But archetypal profile, symbolic profile, the combination of both, and the holistic sessions are wonderful offerings to help people really see various aspects of themselves very clearly. And this is just such a beautiful time to do that. All right. Happy holidays, everybody.